welcome to Old School Blues Guitar. It is time for the third lesson in my Classic Licks series on the playing of John Lee Hooker. I'm trying to explore his playing in open G, open A. I've got my guitar tuned to open G, and I've got the capo on the 2nd fret for this part of the lesson. And this is open A. This makes it the same as open A tuning. I'm familiar with open G, so I like to go to that instead of messing around with another tuning. But anyway, in this lesson we're going to look at what he plays over the 4, and we're going to start out with the boogie songs like Boogie Children or Hoogie Boogie, which is an instrumental I mentioned in one of the earlier lessons. So we've got open G. So when we're over the 1, we're basically playing something like this. We're staying on the 1, but every now and then he makes these forays into the 4 chord. A lot of times he'll do something like he'll end up in this position here. And what I'm doing with that, it's a long A form. So the chord, if I put my first finger here, it's really so we're in open A, so this would be the D. So I'm just putting my finger on the 7th fret, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. And then I'm taking my pinky to the 10th fret. And I'm picking with the pinky on the 10th fret and taking it off and hitting the chord that I have barred with my first finger. And what I hear is that he's not playing any kind of bass rhythm, he's just doing this. And then when he plays that, he does it 3 times and then back into that open string on the 3rd and the 4th strings. And so he ends up doing this. Back into the 1. And that's an idea here. So there's in Boogie Children, that's what he does. Now sometimes he'll lead into that and he'll be playing like that double stop, and then he'll slide it down a couple, or up a couple, or down a couple. Up. So he's going to take that first finger from the 5th fret and slide it to the 7th fret, right before he gets into that. So he might be doing this boogie. That slide. He does this in Boogie Children. So just taking that double stop, it sounds like he's still getting the open 3rd string, the open G string, when he does that. And then he keeps the time going with his foot, and then back into the rhythm. So again, let me try to play that with that lick in context, putting that all together. And there's one example of how he does that with the 4. I've heard that in Boogie Children. And in the instrumental he does, it's kind of like that, this Hoogie Boogie, he does a little variation on that, which I'm going to look at now. And on the 2nd song, the 2nd example, when he gets here, instead of playing just taking the pinky on and off, he does this pull off from the 10 to the 9th fret on that 1st string with that first finger still holding that. So it sounds like this. I think in that song the rhythm is keep forgetting the rhythm, but that's the idea. So he's he's doing that pull off 10, 9 with the pinky, ring finger back to that. And I'm not sure exactly. I have a habit of keeping the bass going just from playing a lot of acoustic blues where you use the thumb bass, but you know, he might just be playing the then back into that rhythm. So on his up-tempo songs, the boogies, you know, a lot of times he'll go to that position and do something out of that long A shape, which is actually over the D. Now another thing he does in the slow songs, when he's playing the slow tunes like Hobo Blues or Crawling King Snake, and when he's over the 1, he's doing stuff like this. Get into some single string stuff in the next part of the lesson, but when he goes to the 4, what he does is basically makes a C chord shape, and we're in open tuning, so it's not a C, but what it comes out is the 4, the D. And so I'm just making a C shape with my first finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, my second finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, and my ring finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string. And he gets some treble notes in there with an upstroke or however he does it. And in the slow tunes, let me kind of show you one example of how he could do this. So he's over the 1. Now the 4. So he uses that shape to play the 4. So that's something you hear him doing in slow songs. Crawling King Snake is a really good example of that. I listen real carefully to Boogie Children, and I'm not positive, but it sounds to me like in some places he's actually going to that 4, like that, with that C shape. So he's doing something like this. It's hard to hear it, so you have to listen and decide for yourself. So there's just a few ideas, the ones that I've picked up on so far for playing over the 4. So you got the A shape, you got this little hammer on or pull-off thingy, which you can use, and then you've got that C shape there that he uses as a D. That's if he's playing an open G. If he's playing or an open A, which I'm in, since I'm in open G with the capo on the 2nd fret. So there's a few ideas for playing over the 4. Again, I am just exploring. I'm just getting into this style. I'd never really got into John Lee Hooker before, just because I knew I'd have to learn some new stuff. But now that I've played some open G on acoustic guitar, I'm giving it a shot, and a lot of it seems pretty simple, but you know, I'm sure there's a lot of intricacies and details there that I'm missing. So hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. And in the next lesson, next couple lessons, we'll take a look at some of his single string playing out of this open tuning.